Okay. I've noticed they've done a couple of book reviews, but mostly along the lines of botanical keys. So I thought I'd mention this because it just probably one of the more interesting books I've ever read, which is saying something. But anyway, Ghosts of Evolution, Connie Barlow. And so the idea here is that plants in particular are evolved to retard certain herbivores and encourage other ones to spread your seeds, for example. And so we have stories about avocados and use that as an example. Think about an avocado and you're trying to spread the seed. That seed is ridiculously large, and the flesh isn't. Well, it's highly oily, so that is a desirable thing for a lot of animals. So how do you spread that seed? And no doubt, early avocados were not quite the same as what we see. But there are certainly avocados, especially the Guatemalan / Mexican ones, often are very round and have fairly large seed. But there are avocados that are much smaller. But anyway, those avocados, why is that? How can that seed survive being eaten? What's the deal there? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But it does if you think in terms of the digestive system of like an elephant, where it eats it, and then not a lot of breakdown, more fermenting than acidic breakdown happens, and then it's distributed. So what this book is talking about is all these weird little things like the pawpaws, for example, or persimmons, or the Osage orange, and avocados. And so, for instance, these giant seeds, capsules, and then they have sweet interiors. So what's that about? That doesn't make a lot of sense. So something big had to eat that, digest it, and then distribute the seeds. So what is that? And so they're theorizing, lo and behold, we're talking about mammoths and things like that, mammoths and mastodons, and here's some more. And some of these are native to the North American, some not so much. But certainly the locusts and some of these leguminous plants, Robinia maybe, but Eclidicea, and here's the ginkgo, which if you've encountered female ginkgos are typically male and female trees. So the females have the cones, or not the cones, but the seeds. And this is a conifer, of course. And the seeds have a coating. Think in terms of a cherry, maybe a wild cherry, giant seed, and this flesh that's yellow and oily and just absolutely horrific butyric acid. So it smells like kind of a rotting something or other, maybe more animal than plant. And so what is that attracting? And they're suggesting, dinosaurs, which, and then more locally, and in Florida, I've talked about this. This is they're calling it honey locust, but the swamp locust is in the same category. What are these spines for? This is also in Illinois. What are the spines for? Leguminous plant. Lots of spines that are just huge. What is this defending itself against? So this is a member of the legume family, and so it has a lot of nitrogen in it, and that's something that a herbivore prefers. So, whatever would knock over that tree and eat it would get a certain bounty. In Africa, this wouldn't be a mystery, but in North America, we forget about the mammoths and the mastodons and so forth and so forth. And they talk about, New Zealand and all these other things that ground sloths were here and so forth. So this is an amazing book, and I'm going to suggest it to anyone. It's looks like it's between $16 and $8. Like I said, it's probably one of the more interesting books I've ever read.